Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Here is Sam. Here is Eve, already harnessed up in her pair's harness. We didn't turn the camera on for that, but we are turning the camera on to show you if there are going to be any challenges with Sadie, Eve's daughter. She's been harnessed up and done pairs work with Eve for several years, but we're a long ways away from being good at it. Now, Sam is learning how to harness. So is Shalea. Sarah is my most experienced harness person. So for today, just for a few minutes, she's going to show Sam and Shalea how to harness Sadie, my youngster, Eve's daughter. See how nice Eve is standing? She's completely harnessed up with her britch and with her crooper, with her blinders. And now I'm going to very carefully take this camera over here to get closer in case we have issues we want to discuss. So far, Sadie's doing okay, but desensitization is the name of the game here. It's been a long time since Sadie has had her harness on. We're now putting on the saddle. She probably will be okay with the crooper because all my horses are ranch versatile and they've been used even for roping, and we've desensitized them to straps and ropes. So this is real time. You'll see how long it takes. You'll see if we have any problems. Desensitization problems. You can look back to last year and the year before of our progress in having Eve and her daughter Sadie do pairs harness work. But we didn't finish last summer. And before you knew it, it was fall and winter and rainy, so we stopped and we said, okay, we'll take it up again in spring and summer. And it's almost summer here at Shadrach Farms. Safety is number one. We watch for relaxation. Look at that back leg. Sadie is looking real relaxed, but at any moment, you know, she could get upset. Oh, she's lost a lot of weight. All my horses have been on a diet, and they're doing quite well, according to my vet, Kristen Wallace. So, okay, we have to kind of readjust things from last summer. Now think about Sam, you're kind of in strike zone there. Let me mention that to you. It's like a half moon around those back legs. If something were to spook Sadie, she could kick out or kick back. Right. So, where you're standing is a much safer place to stand. Sarah, would you do the crooper? Yeah. Because it's challenging. I want Sarah, because she's experienced, to do the challenging stuff. At this point, Sam and Shalea, I hope we'll be able to do it soon. Because what I'll do is I'll say, okay, the weather's right. We know what we want to do next. Would you go get the horses harnessed? And this is a nice, safe place to harness. We've got railroad ties in the ground, 2 foot into concrete. We've got clips. We've got quick releases, anything so that if a horse gets spooked, they're not going to sit back or get wrapped up in their straps. Now, what are we looking forward to? We've done work with this. This is our training harness pole. We are going to bring it down and get them desensitized again to being in pairs around this training harness pole, which is equipped to pull things. And we have simulated things to pull. We also actually pull a homemade forecart with Eve, but we're not ready to pull with pairs. Any kind of forecart, although I would love to find a reasonably priced farming forecart for 2 horses, and when I do, I will buy it. And the reason is that I'm 68 years old, I've had 1 hip replacement, I'll probably need another. Being out here planting with my horses is going to be hard for me on foot. So I want a forecart, and I want my horses to be able to, in pairs, pull the forecart. Well, if anybody hears this on video, let me know if you have one for sale. info@urbancowgirlchannel.com. But then again, I also have to get it to West Santa Cruz because there aren't too many farmers around here. So wherever you are, it's going to be a delivery problem. Okay, now here is the collar. And my pairs harnesses have collars that go over the head, and that's challenging too. Now but Sadie's being real good. Yeah, she could be throwing up her head and giving us trouble. So far, so good. So we put it on with the wide part first, and then when we get it to her neck, we turn it over. Watch your strike zone there in case something scares her. We are almost harnessed. It was almost uneventful getting that britchin on, huh, girls?
Yes.
No problem. We just didn't know what to expect. Now, this is a windless, sunny day in Santa Cruz. The horses have been grazing out here for the last few hours. Eve has her blinders on, I think, and Sadie is still looking relaxed. Watch for signs of relaxation, cocking the back leg, blinking the eyes, ears back, trying to listen, and that's exactly what Sadie's doing, licking of the lips. Now, we use dog collars and cat collars a lot here, in addition to hardware that are quick releases or carabiners. When we start ground driving again, we will ground drive here singly, but in pairs. Each horse will have its own ground driving lines on. We'll have handlers, but we'll try to start getting them to ground drive together in pairs. It has to be their desire, their understanding that they need to stay up with each other. Eve and her daughter Sadie, because if they're connected to each other, they need to understand that one can't go one way or the other, or one can't go faster and the other slower. They need to understand that it's their job to stay together. Now here comes the blinders on. Some horses get scared when blinders are put on because lo and behold, all of a sudden they can't see out of their sides of their eyes. They just see these blinders. Now her head is going up. I would recommend doing it with your hand over her head, between her ears, to make her realize that she's not to pull her head up, and your forearm over her head between her ears will be the pressure that she knows she has to honor. Okay, well, we made it today just because she's being so good without doing it that way, getting the ears in there. See, there are a lot of straps. But she's being good. And then there's the strap back to the saddle. That's to keep her head from going down. You don't want them going down if they're pulling to grab a piece of grass or whatever. These are scenes that we have repeatedly filmed in the past with both horses. And even with Semi, because she is trained to harness. It's just that she's my best cow horse, and I like Eve and Sadie to work together because they are mother and daughter, and they are both beta to Semi. So we try not to ask Eve and Sadie to do things in pairs with Semi. They each do what they're good at, and they do what they're good at together, but we know what to try to avoid because we know that they may not be good at it. And if we decide to make them good at it, okay, we can do that one small step at a time. But right now, I want to get Eve and Sadie to work together with their harnesses on, to be willing to be hooked to the training harness pole, to start pulling things together, to stay together with speed and position. So we're going to do some ground driving next time. We have the ground driving lines individually for each of them. And then when we start asking them to do it in pairs, we have the cross-check lines, which we got from Doc Hamill. And we've had many a show about how you do pairs driving with one set of drive lines in your hand, but two horses being controlled by those drive lines. Beautiful. I am very pleased with our first harnessing of 2013.
I'm just going to walk her out. So
and Sarah's going to walk her out just so that she is willing to walk with all these strap pressures.
Back. Good girl.
Good, good. She did back. It took a little bit of effort. We could have had, maybe next time we'll have an arm extension, because Sadie is very responsive to visual blocks. Very nice, Sadie. Now, at any time, she could say, whoa, what's that thing behind my legs? You know, what's that strap doing there? But she's not. She seems to be just fine. So we're going to call this our moment of resolution, our review instructional video for 2013, how to harness for pairs. And I hope that you'll stay in touch with our progress this spring and summer in how to ground drive and how to pull in pairs. And there is a new group being organized on the Pacific Coast of people who want to, are enthusiastic about using their livestock to do farming. And that's what we want to do too. We have some farming videos to show you what we've done here as far as urban farming at Shadrach Farms. And we hope to combine the farming with the harness work and do it with horses instead of with gas-powered vehicles. Any questions, anybody? Nah, it was so uneventful that I have to give both horses an A+. That's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. This is our next session, reviewing pairs driving. We've got a lot of steps to review because it's been so long. There's been a change in helpers. We had to train everybody who's here by looking at past videos from 2 years ago, how we desensitized our horses, our Morgan horses, Eve and her daughter Sadie, to the harness, the pairs harness. Now we're going to try to do a little bit of individual driving today in pairs. Shalea has a little bit of experience with ground driving, so she's going to be ground driving Eve. And if Shalea is doing well by ground driving Eve individually here in what we call our HVD West pasture, then Sarah is going to see if she can get Sadie started to ground drive individually and go towards Eve. And if we're lucky, if they remember, if they don't get spooked and it's a nice day and not windy, maybe we can have them ground drive together, head on head, parallel, for a few steps. That's our objective. And then if all goes well, next time we want to put these cross-check reins, drive lines on. Now let me show you. They're clearly on the ground. Let me show you without getting you all dizzy. There they are. Cross-check drive lines. And we looked at a show in season 25 that reminded us how to put them on the horse pairs with this set of harnesses and use one pair of drive lines to drive 2 horses. That's what the cross-check drive lines are all about, but they're kind of confusing. They're neato if you can get your horses and your helpers prepared for it, but we're going to review this as much as it takes this year. This is 2013 and it's mid-May. And then as we have the staff, the weather, the horses, we're going to repeat. Okay, so Sarah, when you're ready, you're just going to disconnect Sadie's lead line. Sarah, do you want Samantha at Sadie's head?
I mean, this why it would have been nice to have Tim out here.
Okay, I could get Tim out. We have one more helper back. Yeah, okay. I can walkie him. Go ahead and walkie him. Does anybody have a walkie?
I do.
Okay, walkie. See if you can get Tim. We've got 2 properties here and a lot of chores to do, especially in the spring. See if you can reach him and tell him to come and help us, just to stand at the head. Not getting him? Okay.
Are you available?
Do-
Did you leave the walkie in there?
Yeah, I did. I left him with the walkie.
Yeah, come over to the HVD.
As soon as he can. Right away. Okay. All right, then just disconnect your lead line and stand there, and let's see if you guys, Shalea and Sam, can walk around with the drive lines. Now, I'm Sonia Sokolow, the urban cowgirl, who's done this for years, but I'm still a little bit careful with my walking because of my right hip. So I don't really want to be yanked around by horses right now. I'm doing quite well, but Shalea, do you know how to back Evie up?
You just say back, yeah?
Yeah, say back, and then
Back. Back.
give and take with your right and left hand.
Back.
Okay, let me see if I can
Back. Back.
help there. Now, let me show you. Back, 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 back. Okay, a little bit more. We had to ask a little bit more. Ha. Ha.
Stay up by your head.
Say, stay up by her head. Stop. Whoa. Whoa. Stop. Oh, no. Okay, Shalea, try to get this right drive line over. Walk very slowly. She's excited. Eva's excited. It's been a while. She used to be very, very good at this. You didn't get to see it because there was nobody at the camera, but she was up-headed. We read their body language. Okay, now, very small circles. She's still up-headed. She's really excited. All right. Keep those drive lines on either side of her hip. Hoe her. Whoa. Stay over. Okay. Boy, do we have a lot of practice to do before we film again, and definitely before we use the cross-check drive lines. Okay, and we've got Tim coming. He doesn't have much experience, but we do want somebody at Sadie's head. Now, do you, Shalea and Sam, do you feel comfortable with the stress level that you sense from Eve to do the same thing again, only in the other direction, another circle? Sure. Okay, let's go. Don't underestimate any horse, though.
Stay up by her head.
Stay by her head and release pressure when you can. Okay, I don't think you have to do the right hand slapping with the drive lines. She's walking. She's got somebody at her head. But she's up-headed. She's up-headed. So she is. This is exciting. She hasn't done it since last summer or early fall. When you can, hoe her. Good. Just stand there. Let her look around. Remember, she's got blinders on. It's been a long time. If you look back at my season 18 shows, you'll see that we did this so that so often that even Sadie were just very calm, walking around, low-headed, horizontal neck, all of that. But that's why I'm being really careful today. And we've got Tim coming, but I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's come back to her tie post with driving, and then let's tie her. Remember to release pressure if you've got the right answer. That's the way they know they're giving you the right answer. Now I've got these cross-check reins on the ground. It could scare them. Good. Good. Okay, I'll put the lead line to the tie post. And my tie posts here have clips on them so that if they do pull back, Not worried about them sitting back. Sitting back is a very bad habit for a horse to come to get into. They literally pull back and then end up sitting because they're so scared. Okay, now take the drive lines off. Do you know how to do that, Samantha?
Yeah.
Okay. And Shalea, you keep in mind how the drive lines are touching Eve on her back legs and her hips. Try to keep them away. And when you drop them, try to take them away, okay? And then we're gonna do the same thing with Sadie. It looks like Tim didn't get here in time. We just wanna see what's the baseline for Sadie. Are you comfortable doing that if you've got somebody on either side of her, Sarah?
Yeah, I think one person's fine.
Okay. Okay, and I'm comfortable having Eve tied here at her pole. She does have her tack on still. But okay, in the interest of time, next time, let's see, 1, 2, we've only got 4. Next time we definitely need 5 people. Okay, now Sam is going to be at the head. Remember, the most basic principle is release pressure if you're getting the right answer. And that is how they know that they're giving you the right answer. Let's see if Sarah can back Sadie.
Back,
And Shalea, are you ready to help if there's any trouble?
back, back.
Sadie's showing some stress in her mouth.
Back,
Good, good.
girl.
Remember, they've got all these straps on. They've got the blinders on. It's been a while since they've gone anywhere in blinders. Let's see if we can do a circle in either direction out there. Actually, she's looking calmer than Eve was. But anything, a cat, a bunny, a helicopter, a truck could spook them. Can you keep their confidence up? Do they respect you enough to understand that there's nothing to be worried about? Now, the other day, my neighbor was, she's building a pool, and there was a giant truck right outside my gate. A little bit of stress, okay.
Back, back.
And there was a giant truck, and there was a cement mixer, and we had to take my horses across the street.
G? We're going right. G's right. Okay, I don't know. Right.
Sadie's right. Samantha. G is Sadie's right.
I just don't, I mean, there's overall, okay.
Stay behind, stay behind. Boy, do we have a lot of practice to do. Okay, one circle in that way. Come back here to her tie post. Remember that I've got the cross-check reins on the ground, which could spook them. Anyway, when we crossed the street to bring them out here to graze, it was quite a challenge. But I have to say that they trusted us. They did it. They didn't understand the noise and the truck and all of that, but they said, well, okay. I think they wanted to come here, and they trusted us enough to cross the street in front of that truck and that cement mixer.
Good girl.
Okay, now we're just gonna do a tie, and then Samantha's gonna remove the lines very carefully so that it doesn't touch legs. Sadie used to have a no-no spot on the back of her back legs and on the inside of her back legs, and we worked on that. We worked on desensitizing her with ropes, with straps, to feelings back there. You want to go walk up there, tell her you're coming, and pick up that strap. We don't want her getting hung up in that strap. Okay, and Tim just arrived, so he's at least seeing what we're doing here. But next time, Tim, we're going to ask you to come out here right away. We need at least 5 people because it's been a couple of years, a whole year since they've done it at all, a couple of years since they first learned it. There's too much to remember now, and safety is number 1, so we're going to do it one small step at a time with a team of 5. And I have to say that we met our moment of resolution today. But I also realized that the baseline is not quite as high or as good as I thought it was. We're going to, very small step at a time, work our way back up to mutual confidence and respect, and then get that cross-check reins on and try it with our cross-check reins as well. And then we have to work on, I'm just looking way ahead again, we have to work on getting them used to, again, I'm walking with the camera carefully, getting them used to this training harness pole, the white and black, rather formidable harness pole that is a simulation of a real harness pole. And get them used to it again, get them to walk parallel with it, with the black ABS between them, get them to walk with it with our cross-check reins on, get them to accept that they need to stay together. We can't constantly have to ask them to stay together. They have to understand that the right answer is to walk in parallel and at the same speed, whether you're going in a circle or not. And if they understand that, they'll do it for you. These are my Morgan mares, Sadie and Eve, and all they want to do is know what the right answer is and try to give it to us without being spooked. Of course, if they get spooked, they go into reactive mode, and then it's a whole nother story. Then you always have to think ahead. What are you going to do if they get spooked, especially if they're connected with straps between them? And if you look at some of my old shows, watch them, you'll hear stories. Because of very, very trained horses getting spooked and causing very, very bad accidents. Because you never know when it's going to happen. And when they get reactive, they're awfully strong, awfully big. We're taking the harness off, turning it upside down to get it off, and there you go. That was challenging. They both have their britchin off. They both have their the neck ring, the neck portion of the harness off. I don't have buckles on them, so they had to learn to accept it over their heads. And now we're taking the crupper and the saddle, and we're going to show you in tiny baby steps. Good, good. Sam is being real careful. She hasn't done this a lot, but she's being real careful, always touching on the hips, making sure that the horse knows you're back there so you're not in strike zone if they do get spooked. We're doing okay. It's just going to be small step progress. In 2013, pairs harness training with Sadie and her mom, Eve. That's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.